Afternoon, Andy. Commiserations this afternoon. 7-0 defeat at Turf Moor. What are your views on the game?
Yeah, I think it's been a difficult afternoon. It's been a poor afternoon for us. I think performances haven't been where they've been over the last 6 games. I think we've come here today in a really good vein of form. We've won 4 and I think drew 2. So confidence-wise, coming into the game, we felt that we could make things difficult. But I think in some senses it was open up and have a go. We're already safe. We've already hit the target of staying in the league, but we wanted to try and have a go at Burnley this afternoon, and I think we did do that in certain parts. Certainly in the first half, not so much in the second. Coming at half time, 2-0 down, still in the game, but I think the turning point in the second half was the third goal. I think the third goal kind of killed us, and then probably 2 minutes later, we've given a penalty away. So it's been difficult. I think there's been a couple of players that have worked really hard and give absolutely everything. But when you play Burnley, you need 11 players. Probably more in the sense of bringing players on. So disappointing afternoon. I thought we'd got these scorelines out the way earlier in the season. So very disappointed with the scoreline. But I think in general, across the whole season, as we've seen previously, we've got the points on the board, and I think where we'll finish is probably a little bit lower than where we want to be. In the respect of kind of getting in a good position to 8th and now dropping back down. But I think if you look at the points across the board, I think there's 1 point in it between 7th and where we are. So another result that may have come in the season, we could have been in 7th. So on the whole, really successful season, and I think it's just today we need to put it behind us and accept Burnley were outstanding in that second half.
So yeah, like you've just said, 21 points, and then we've got obviously a cup final ahead of us. So is it pretty much we've just got to dust ourselves off and prepare for that and one last go?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've said that to the girls. I knew it was going to be a tough one here. They've got their fans here, and it was always going to be a difficult afternoon, I think. But we've got to draw a line, and we've got to move on, and we've got to look at the positives and look at what we wanted to achieve this season. And our targets were that we wanted to, be in tier 3 and get as many points as we can. And we've exceeded the points tally that we wanted to get at the start of the season. I think we're 14 points clear of the drop zone. So I think on the whole, we're disappointed today, but overall, I think it's been outstanding, and we've got ourselves into the cup final. But that said, we've got to be a lot better than we were today in the cup final, because Stoke are another outstanding team. So performances need to lift. It needs to be stronger. It needs to be better. And we'll focus on that. We've got 3 training sessions on the lead up to the final. So I think it's just being as positive as we possibly can off the back end of a difficult defeat.
So Tuesday the 6th of May at Stafford Town. Just about getting people behind us, isn't it, really, on that day? Getting the girls up to it and everybody on board, and then getting the fans down to support us, because that makes a big difference, doesn't it?
100%. So we're going to need all the fans there to support us and give the girls a lift. I think that that where we've got most of our points this season's been at home. So that's obviously the fans being there and supporting us and being on our pitch that we know well. So yeah, Stafford Town. Going to be a difficult evening again, but I think it's one that we're looking forward to. As I've said previously, we're the holders of the cup, so we're going into that game, with confidence that we want to try and cause an upset.
Good time, Andy.
No problem.